Do you find yourself, Alf, do you find something different about telling a story through film and through the visual medium than through the written medium or the spoken medium on stage?
Yeah, I guess there's something kind of transparent and immediate about it. It's very addictive. I mean, it's a visceral thing. So it's and we do a lot of our sensing with our eyes. So yeah, I think that's kind of the straightforward thing. And I also think it's a lot of what Beth is talking about is that it's like a three-dimensional medium. You're actually somebody like Scorsese. I mean, I actually think that he would do wonderful even now, because his visual ability, his film literacy is far greater than most people. So when you watch him construct a scene, he's actually using more complicated language, and he's actually, in some ways, directing the audience down a certain path. So I think it's pretty interesting when you get to that high skill level that how actually complicated the architecture of film and media is. And I think what's going to be interesting too is for audiences as we become more savvy, as we see more and more, not just what we expect in terms of stories, but in the ways films are actually made, so how they're actually constructed. So whether it's a new place in Africa, but what if that story in Africa is told in the architecture of that story is completely new to us and completely new to the patterns of our brain and how we digest it. So I think that that's going to be kind of the most dynamic part about film.
Well, what Kirk, what is it that attracts you to the medium of film as a medium for telling stories rather than some other form?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I'm excited by, you talk about the architecture, and I'm just excited by the way that you can present something that's you can never, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You could never ever describe that in prose. Okay, like for example, we had one of our films that was up for Best Animation, and it was the story, it was a CG, animated thing, but it was a story of these characters that came out to life in candle wax. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, how random and bizarre, but it was so compelling and so strange, and you could never do it justice by writing prose about it. And it's that, that sort of pop that has your imagination going that film can give you, and other medium can't really do that for you. So we had crazy animation and graphics and all kinds of, just weird storytelling, strange editing, and that's what I like is, you talk about these guys and their architecture, but then you'll get blown away by some crazy kid who says, forget it. Jump cut to this. Who cares? Just break every single rule, go right to the jump cut, and there it is. And it's just like, wow, that was really powerful. Because we are accustomed to the film language and everything, and then every once in a while, someone can slap you and break it up and just shake your mind up. Wow, where did that come from? And so for me, it's an exciting tool. Some of the films that we had were so cool. I had one film that was shot on a cell phone from Iran. Wow. And it was super compelling. It was nasty, grainy, gritty, hard to see, but the story was so cool that it was like, wow, what a great way to tell this story. It was about a guy who went to find his car and he couldn't find his car, so then he went to find his apartment and he couldn't find his apartment, and the whole thing was like a nightmare, like this sort of Kafka nightmare. But it was all shot on a cell phone from Iran. And it's just so cool that we have that ability now with technology to do that. And I get excited by when someone shakes it up.